Good evening, folks. Welcome to the 55th episode of the Ken Matias Sports Podcast. I have Mike Antonellis, the WooSox broadcaster. How are you, sir, on right now?
How you doing, bud? Thanks for having me.
Good. Yeah, no problem. I told you off air, feel free to just, talk about your career and what career decide to, call games and stuff like that.
Yeah, I growing up in Massachusetts, you become the Red Sox become religion. So I mean, I fell in love with baseball instantly. I mean, I'm a huge Red Sox junkie, like from the time I
hmm
was really little, and I just kind of always knew I wanted to work in the game. And then, as you get into high school and you play baseball, you realize that's not going to happen that way. And so I started as a doing Legion baseball in Milford, Mass. That's where I got my start as
Oh,
an
wow.
intern at WMRC in Milford. And I just knocked on their door. They had never had an intern. I was going to Framingham State, and I kind of pitched to them, I'm looking for an internship. And I picked that place on purpose because they carried baseball. No one was carrying baseball in Massachusetts.
hmm
And I thought maybe I'd have a chance to do some innings or do games. So long story short, I ended up working there and getting paid in addition to doing it for credit. And the guy that was doing games there, Dick Engemy, he had been doing the games forever. And he let me do two innings of play by play. So I was pumped and I did that for 2 years and made tapes out of that. Got an internship in 1997 in Woodbridge, Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And then it just, the guy that hired me is still one of my is my best friend today. He left after the first year. I ended up being the number one there, and I just kind of stayed in it. I moved around a lot. Portland was my biggest main job that I've had. No pun intended. I was there 15 years in Maine,
hmm
Sea Dogs. Probably be the best gig, best people living by the ocean, and just the Sea Dogs are incredible. And then I had done some stuff for Pawtucket. Oh, I'd filled in over the years, and I knew Bill Wanless really well, their media guy.
Oh, he's a pretty nice guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
Bill called me right before the pandemic, January 2020, and asked me to come to Pawtucket. We didn't have a season,
Yep.
but it all
They
worked
they were
out.
changing over to Worcester as well.
Yeah. So that last year, and during the pandemic, we waited tables. They turned McCoy into a restaurant. It's called Dining on the Diamond.
Oh, I don't know if I remember that. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did
Yeah.
that, and the Red Sox had during the pandemic, they had extra players that had to play. So they did
hmm
these games at the ballpark, and we called them on social media. Me, Jim Kane, and Josh Mauer. So that's what we did that summer, and then um,
Yeah, it
closed
was
up.
a taxi squad, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. Yeah,
it was fun. And we would show up sometimes, and there would be like a pitcher, a batter, and a catcher, and he would hit like for 10 minutes, and that would be it. Like we didn't had no idea. Some days they just wouldn't do anything. It was just the schedule. But we didn't know the schedule because uh we couldn't be down there or anything. We had to go
hmm
right up to we only had, the pandemic stuff was crazy. But then,
Yeah.
you know, uh during that year we got a tour of what Polar Park was going to look like, and it was surreal seeing that place, like a mold of it, and then they showed us where our booths were, and it was just basically concrete in frames, and then
hmm
it came to life, and then 5, 6 years later, I mean, I don't get sick of going there ever. Like it never gets old. The place is incredible. We do every game on television too. It's either on
Yeah,
NESN.
Nessun Plus. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
guys do good. The little
it's
like,
incredible.
chime in or
So
check in.
yeah,
You
I
guys do
mean,
a nice
it's
job.
probably the best gig in the minor leagues, and I'm very lucky to be part of that.
I, I mean, being in the minor leagues, obviously you want to get a full-time major league job, even if it's not the Red Sox, because I
Yeah,
know EI goes through a flurry of guys. I mean, Cooper Boardman, I've had him on. He's super cool. Joe
yeah,
Wild is a pre or post. He's
yeah.
awesome.
We're good
Uh,
friends. Yep.
what was I gonna say? Will Fleming is amazing. I mean, even his brother too, right? Dave,
Yeah,
Will and Dave.
yeah.
They're great guys. Middlebrooks does a good job. Donardo, I had him on my podcast. I like him too. He does good for TV, radio. I'm probably missing some guys. Joe Castiglione still chimes in here and there, right? He still does some games.
Yeah, I think I think he did one, and Sean McDonough's doing some games.
McDonough, yeah, I was forgetting
Yeah,
about him. Crap. How could I forget
and
about him?
of
I
course Lou
actually,
Merlone. Yeah,
yeah, Lou, yeah. Yeah, McDonough's cool. He does
yeah,
TV. He does a lot of hockey too, but
yeah.
I
He's great.
mean, you guys are just great at what you do, and it's just if I never get there, it is what it is. I'll admire other people's work, but calling baseball must be like a thrill. Just showing up to the ballpark, 2 in the afternoon, games at 7. You guys are probably rehearsing or being like, "Hey, now up to blah blah blah,"
Mhm.
stuff like that. That's like just being around the guys and obviously going down to the locker room, seeing guys on rehab assignments. Like,
Yeah,
what's been like your favorite part from doing this the past like 30 years? I know it's kind of wide variety, and you've been
yeah.
from Portland to Worcester to Pawtucket, doing stuff obviously at Legion way back in the day. But what's been like the favorite part? Like just the connecting with the players, or just all the media relations and people behind the scenes?
The relationships I've made,
Yeah.
I think without a doubt. I think like I've kind of stepped back because due to the pandemic, I wasn't able to be in Worcester full time, so I have
Yep.
another full time, but I still do 60 games, which I love. For
That's still
20,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, for 25 years, I was doing 140 to 150 games, the bus trips and all that. And I kind of like
That's
this
cool. Yeah.
pace better. But it's the people that I have lifelong friends that I truly love to death. I mean, the people I met in Portland, that was like a family there. So like that's the part and the things that you when you get into the business, it's really all about you. That's what you do. You're it's I want to be successful. I want to get the gig and all that. And you don't think about the other perks of it. But yeah, the front office people, other broadcasters, the players that I've met. I'm old enough now where like I've seen players that are coaches. We have a coach, the WooSox, Iggy Suarez, who I was with in Portland as a player, but it's very rewarding. It taught me a lot about work ethic. If
Hmm.
being a full-time employee in the minor leagues is a boot camp for just regular work. When I was full-time in Portland, I was in the office and during home games at 8:30, we ran the whole operation.
And the
I was
game's at 7 or 6 or whatever
six
they
and
did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you're part of the tarp crew, you're part of the mark, and you really learn how to work as a team, and
Hmm.
it really prepares you. My parents even told me this, like all that stuff you had to do. I'm like, I can do anything now, like any job, and it's not as difficult. It will never be as difficult. Not that it was difficult, just it's challenging, but it teaches you incredible life skills, uh, teammates, bonding. I learned a lot from the players and coaches about being a pro, about being a good teammate.
Hmm.
You learn so much. And I've when you watch baseball, I've seen, I've called 3,400 games. It's like Pandora's box of a whole new game you end up seeing because you just by default you watch so many pitches in so many games, you learn a whole new side of it. And I've asked a lot of questions and um but it's great. It's amazing. Like I've been able to kind of step back and be like, wow, I'm pretty damn lucky to be doing this still. Like, there's not many people, if you think about it, in
Yeah.
the world that get to do what we do, and I'm one of them. And especially being from here.
Yeah. Being locally. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
grew up in Ashland, and I've worked for two of the New England professional teams, and I've done some stuff for the Red Sox. Like, that's not common.
No,
How
no.
many kids want to do that? So,
Running off that, a lot of people, I interned at Channel 5 like 3 years ago. They're like, hey, if you want to be sports or news, you got to go move, blah, blah, blah. You don't start here because we're a top
yeah,
10 market. I'm like, I understand that. Freshly out of school, whatever. I was older than other interns, obviously, because they're 22, 23 interning. And I was like middle 20s at the time. But, anyways, they're like, you got to move. Like, you
yeah,
got to move if you want to do this. And it's like, it's not in the cards right now. Like, I respect it. I respect your opinion. But there are jobs locally that you can start at a local station anywhere else. I know it's probably not going to get you the high exposure of, all right, they'll hire, but when it comes to teams too, like I've run into cases, it's like it's all minimum wage jobs, and I totally understand it's a lot of revenue, marketing, blah, blah. But a lot of people probably in my position or younger or whatever, they just don't want to take it, but they'll take it because it's like, all right, I was a production assistant for the WooSox. Cool. You work the
Yeah.
season, you're grinding, you meet a lot of people, you never know where it can lead you. So and so might know somebody from ESPN, and it's like you're behind the scenes there now. But I've just wondered about the industry if they're ever going to get above the threshold of, all right, we won't pay you minimum wage. It might be like a middle salary or whatever, like, a better hourly salary. So I get sports is a lot of people want to work in it. It's very low
Yeah.
paying, unfortunately, if you're new at it. But
Yep.
if you're more experienced like yourself, obviously, it's different salaries. But if you want to
Yeah.
elaborate about that, like how hard it's going to get in for people and, touch on like what people should do,
Yeah,
feel
no, I
free to
mean,
share.
I think it's for any entertainment, I mean, even the acting world, I've actually done some of that, background acting,
Hmm.
I think 1% of people who are in the SAG make over $100,000. So like 99% of them are not making living wages. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's oversaturated with people who want to do,
Locally too, because
yeah, I
people don't
mean,
want to think outside the box. And it's like,
yeah.
hey, if you got a family and stuff, like I get a lot of kids that are just starting off. Yeah, they might be, dating somebody about to be married, whatever. But it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
no,
they're
it's
they're willing to
tough.
move to Indiana or Idaho or
Yeah.
something for this, and then come back 2, 3 years later.
Yeah, you have to make a decision what you want. Like I made a decision when I was young at 23. I picked up and moved and just pursued it and didn't
Hmm.
make money for a long time. I mean, it took me a long time I mean, probably almost 20 years,
Wow. Yeah.
till I finally was able to I had a really good deal in Portland where I was seasonal but full time, but I had to really hustle in the off
And you
season.
had
But
to live up there too, right?
yeah, but also like, I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was I never cared. I
Hmm.
made enough to live. But I had never had any like Sunday night feeling of it's Monday morning. Like I never,
Oh yeah, like everybody else has. Like,
yeah,
oh,
I
I gotta
never
go to
had it.
work
Never,
tomorrow, but it's like, hey,
never.
I'm going to Portland or I'm going to the box office. You know what I'm saying? Like tickets or
Yeah,
whatever I'm doing.
yeah.
That's a good
Um,
feeling when people wake up and it's like it's either their dream job or close to it, and it's not like a 9 to 5, like I gotta grind at such and such place. And
it's a
I'm not dogging other places, but I mean
it's a
that's
trade-off. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if you want to make money, yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. People get
Hmm.
in it and like, geez, I don't want to do, and I don't blame people. But it's gotten a lot better. I mean, when I first got in it, there weren't like almost every minor league team has a number two person now. Like that wasn't the case
Hmm.
when I was growing up, and now teams have like two positions. They'll have like a studio host. Big league teams now have way more guys and gals that are doing it.
Yep.
They'll have a studio, but like teams have taken that in house. Like the Red Sox took in their broadcasting in house, so they
Hmm.
they hire everybody. But yeah, I mean, it's just like acting and singing and all that. If you're asking me like play by play, yeah, I mean, obviously you can't just start.
Off the street in
Yeah,
a way.
yeah, you have to. I mean, there's just so many people experience. We get resumes at Worcester from people who are 20 years in the business. I mean, just
They're
because
definitely
it's
gonna be people like myself and maybe others with 5, 2, 1.
yeah,
It's hard to decipher, especially on the team's aspect too. Like when you're going through 100 resumes, whatever they go through, and you got this guy or gal for like 20, 30 years that's got experience and has been in other minor league affiliates, and then obviously you got this kid off the street that's got 4 or 5 years and maybe working at the New England Collegiate League or the Cape Cod League. Like those are great leagues to get exposure for, and that's what a lot of people I feel like going through the industry, either working at Ness and whatever, like, hey, I was affiliated with the Bourne Braves. It's like
yeah.
that's wonderful. I mean, is that what made you get the job at Nesson? When me, I'm trying to compete for the same job and I've interned at five or I've done things in like local radio stations and it hasn't gotten me anywhere. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what all decision makers think. I mean, there
I
there
can't
isn't.
speak for them either.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely an aspect of younger people. I mean, it's tough. Like there's just so much competition um, in interviews. That could, I remember being on the other side of this. Like when I would hire an assistant in Portland, and we'd see a resume from somebody, and I would just be like, wow, and then the interview would just I know in
Two
Portland we didn't
totally different
always,
things.
yeah, we would not hire just based on the resume. That the
Hmm.
resume was just, we'd go
A
through them.
starter type of thing,
Yeah, but
like
the
an
interview was
appetizer.
big. Yeah. Yeah, but fitting in,
Yeah.
in sports, you bet you have to fit in with it's really like a team. Like
Hmm.
you have to be able to be like fit in with the office. A lot of broadcasters don't want to do the other stuff, but like
Hmm.
you have to. Like I was never like that. I like doing and being part of the office and all of that. But yeah, it's hard. I can't. I'm trying to think, like speaking on the other stuff, like I know in Maine, like a lot of the news people, I was close to them. They had all come from, yeah. I mean,
All
I know,
over, right?
yeah. When you're a news and sportscaster, right out of college, you go to like Oklahoma City.
Hmm.
Um, it's just you just can't get. I mean, they don't need to hire people like that in this market because you're getting people from major markets that want to come
Yeah.
here. So
That's the
yeah,
thing. When you work in New York, you're gonna get an easy job in Boston or have a good shot at it if you're well known. Like
yeah.
I worked with Bob Halloran. That's one of the best guys I've ever worked with or interned with.
I know Bob. Yeah, I've worked
He's
with
a
him. Yeah,
super duper nice guy, and I still
yeah,
keep tabs with him too, even though he's retired and doing other things. But
yeah,
I mean, I had the chance to speak to Josh Brogadier, great guy. He used to be on NECN way back in the day. I remember him as a kid. Duke Castiglione, Joe's
yeah,
son, that was great. He moved from I think New York to Boston a few years ago or whatever. He moved back home. It's just I see these guys, like these gals and guys, and it's like wow, like it just amazes me honestly. And it's just the talent around here. If it's baseball, if it's whatever sport it is, I love seeing the women influence in it too, and I love seeing the
yeah.
guys' perspective too. So I like seeing both ends. And it's just like, hey, like if I ever get a crack at it, it'd be nice. But I know I'm not going to be on air at Nesson tomorrow anytime soon. So
I mean, even a lot of us aren't going to be. Yeah, they have a murderer's row of people, and
yeah,
then
they
it's
probably got a
also
laundry list of people too, like yourself, like a lot of people just trying to get
yeah,
in and like fill in for a game. Like
yeah, and like Tom Caron. I mean, he's been there forever, and
he
he
has.
well, why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you be? Like, that's a great gig.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
know.
mean, it was like I was in uh, Portland for 15 years, and Emma, who took over for me, she could be there for 15 years. Like, you don't leave those jobs because there's no reason to. So yeah, it's a crazy bit. All of the entertainment businesses. But you gotta, there's ways. Like I tell people, I think Jared Carrabis is
That's a great example. That
he's
guy
a
just
fantastic influence. But you got to
he is,
remember,
yeah.
he got into that first. He had a vision before all of this,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are. I'm not. I don't want to say they're chasing to do it, but
Yeah.
to try to become that is really hard, but he got in at the right time. And it could be something that your listeners or yourself, a niche you find that
Mm-hmm.
someone hasn't hit yet. Jared was all over that before anybody.
Yeah. Is that
Perfect
what made it
name.
big was social media for him? Or did he get into something and he was just passionate about baseball? Because he knows everything. He's got so like he's just
Yeah.
locked in.
I've always said perfect name for a podcast. A fan everyone can identify with, like, he looks Massachusetts. I love Jared, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. He
and
seems like a nice guy from a distance, not knowing him personally.
I don't think there was a lot of that on, I think he started on MySpace. There wasn't a lot of
Oh,
people
wow.
doing that, so now it's so oversaturated. And I don't discourage people. I just don't want them to think that they're going to get like an underdog's fantasy sponsorship, get 1 million. You could,
You
but
could, but
you should do this because you love it.
mm-hmm.
And like loves doing this.
He does.
And he just got in at the right time. It's a lot of people. It's like Mr. Beast, I mean, everyone wants to be Mr. Beast on YouTube, but I mean, that stuff he's doing, he did
Mm-hmm.
first.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
it's tough to like try to, you got to find your niche, but I think everybody has it in them. Everyone's special in their own way. It's just
Yeah.
kind of finding it.
Mm-hmm. There's so many podcasts out there too, and I
Yeah.
like mine's just my name. Like I think I had a little influence from Alex Bartha 98.5. I text him from now and then, and he's like, just roll
Yeah.
with your name. I'm like, all right. I'm like trying to think of a name. I'm like, yeah, I'll just do my name. That's fine.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
And then, I had somebody that I work with create a logo for me. I was like, hey, I appreciate this. Thank you. And it's like it's not a well-known podcast, but the people I've had on, they're like, how do you get these people? Like social media, the
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, I'm big on that. It's just I appreciate them. They don't ask for money. I take a little bit of their time and then they're willing to help me if I need it or whatever it is. And I appreciate every single guest and people that come back,
Well, yeah, and that's
you
so
know?
that's the other thing that I didn't grow up in this technology world, but that's I mean,
Hmm.
if I was younger and I was able to reach out to the people that you're able to reach out to now, I mean, the old school way you had to call them, but that's or
Yeah,
mail them a
you couldn't
letter. But
get
now, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's incredible that you can just get, you
one
know,
message away.
yeah. So there's a lot of good. I mean, I think this time is the best for all of this because when I have microphones hooked up, I got a
Hmm.
little studio here at home where I do things, and it's great. I would never want to go back to the old way with, especially the technology. It's way better now. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And
it's presenting, more opportunities.
yeah, I mean, is this gonna give me a job? You never know, but it's probably a slim chance to none because there's a million and one podcasts out there and people can talk about the same thing. There's probably another person like me,
Yep.
either man or woman, that interviews people just to know their stories. I like that stuff. I'm a personable guy, so I like knowing people's backgrounds and it's like, hey, what made you like baseball or blah blah blah. So that's
Yeah.
I like this. This is interesting to me. This is kind of off the field stuff. But I definitely did want to shift gears, seeing we have a little time too.
Yeah.
I gotta talk about obviously the farm system. You seeing a bunch of talent recently make the major leagues, and you seeing them in Portland,
Yeah.
in the minor leagues. Like I want to hit on the big three, obviously. Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Christian Campbell. How was seeing those guys firsthand from Portland and whatever else you were able to see them from a distance and call their games? Like
Yeah.
they've been amazing. And then I know Campbell's in AAA, but
Yeah. I only saw them in AAA. But I
oh,
mean, the
okay. I
time,
thought you seen
yeah.
them down. Okay, never mind.
I
Okay.
saw, I mean, I saw in Portland, I mean, Mookie,
Yeah, yeah,
Duran,
those guys. I should
all those
actually
guys.
probably
Yeah.
take it back to then. So let
No,
me
that's fine.
rephrase. Yeah, no, let me rephrase. We can take it back to when you were there. The Mookie and the Duran era. That works too.
Yeah. I mean, till now, like just to fast forward, I mean, these guys now are as close to some of those big guys that I saw back then. But
Hmm.
Mookie Devers, Xander Bogaerts. My first year was Pedroia, Papelbon, Lester.
Oh wow. Yep.
Really incredible. You really, when you watch the the baseball all the time, like you can tell the guys that are really, really good just stick out. That's why,
Hmm.
like, it's really hard to trade in the big leagues. Like, you're not gonna sneak someone past anybody like that. There's too many eyeballs on things.
Yep.
Like when Dombrowski came in, I knew he wasn't going to get rid of Mookie or Jackie even. But they're incredible. But I think the thing that's different, I started seeing it in Portland, but these guys at really young ages do not seem flustered at anything. Like Roman
Hmm.
Anthony doesn't even look like he's phased. And I know that's part of he's good. It helps when you have talent, but when you're 21 in the big leagues, that's still a lot. I mean, I think his head was spinning a little bit when he first went up
Oh,
there,
for
but
sure. Yeah. No matter if you're the best prospect in
yeah.
baseball to the hundredth, top 100. I mean,
The thing with him is that his at bats were just always amazing. He always looked in control of his at bats. And he's going to be a superstar. I think there's no doubt about it. I think the Red Sox position player wise over the years I think they've exceeded expectations. I think people are spoiled here. They don't realize it's pretty hard to produce, your prospects to be good, but these guys are everyday players and now they're stars. They've had a lot of stars from this. Meyer is another one. Doesn't look
hmm,
phased. I think the way he plays third base in the big leagues, he did not play third at all in Worcester.
he was more second and short.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Okay.
more short, and it's easy
Yeah.
to go to stay on that same side. But
It
still,
is
I
the
mean,
infield, but definitely
yeah,
different positions. That's for sure.
it's still yeah. And Campbell last year, I saw him for 2 weeks at the end of the year, and he was incredible at
Hmm.
AAA. It's I know people are down on him, but this happens. Like the game is not kind. It's
Hmm.
rough. Um, and he had a really bad month and a half, but defensively he was rough
He
too. He
started
has
off one of the hottest hitters in baseball for sure, especially for a rookie
yeah.
too. I was like, wow. for
Yeah.
me not knowing a lot about this kid, but keep hearing the name and minor league player of the year last year for Baseball America, I was like, who is this guy? Like,
Yeah, and he's very raw too.
hmm
He's just he didn't play much in college even or even in high school. High school he didn't play a lot. I think
because
he
he was Georgia Tech. Is that where he went?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So he doesn't have a ton of experience and
hmm
but he's got a very violent swing. Like he puts a lot into his swing. He just needs, I think, just more seasoning. It happens. They figure you out quickly in the big leagues, and
That they do, especially
uh,
with the iPads and
yeah,
studying and the scouting. It's just seeing it from a distance. You seeing it probably closer than me. It's like these guys are constantly on the iPad looking at their pitches, in-game things, the
yep.
analytics, stuff like that. But it's crazy the way baseball's evolved in my 30 years of living. It's like I like how it was when it was like the Ortiz era and like the less analytics. No offense to the analytics.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's too like when they're talking about war in this, I'm like, man, I'll probably never get a job in baseball because I got to be like a science major just to understand
Yeah,
the logistics of baseball. But yeah, going back to Campbell, you can keep going. I'm sorry. I'm just
yeah.
going
No,
on
I
and
mean,
on.
yeah, he's he'll we'll see what happens with him, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a failure when a guy gets to the big leagues and then struggles because that's happened many times and it's going
Yep.
to happen a lot.
It's
It
not the
happened to Mike
first, it's
Trout.
not the
Yeah.
last. Yeah.
So, um, the realistic path of all of those guys, just going up together and dominating. I mean, I didn't think the odds were well with Anthony and Meyer. I did, but still, it's still the big leagues, and so we'll see. I think the Red Sox are on the right path the way that they're developing and putting together their big league club.
No, it seems like what is it? The head guy is Brian Abraham. It seems like he's got his good staff of guys, with the player development and stuff like that. But from what I hear on the radio, obviously people pick on the driveline guys and all the science guys they got behind the scenes. But
Yeah.
I guess they're so analytical now, and that's what they focus on. But I
Well, I
mean,
mean, I think it's yeah, it's with anything. We have all of our technologies advanced. So if you have it,
it's not
use it. I
just in
mean,
sports; it's in everything.
it's in everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't love all those numbers either. So
yeah. No, I'm not a big numbers guy either because math was never my strong suit. So.
yeah,
Unless it's maybe base, sports numbers, but that's beyond the fact.
yeah,
But no,
yeah,
I'm glad to see these guys up. I think Anthony should have made the team out of spring training. Meyer, yeah, maybe. Obviously, Campbell got, the best end of the stick on that, but I think their future is bright. It's just every year, I'm hyped for opening day, like everybody, like a lot of people are. And then all of a sudden, they're talking about this All-Star break. They've been riding a hot streak, and then all of a sudden, they kind of go downhill, and it's like they're battling for the third wild card spot, and then they just kind of disappoint us in the end. And I'm like, man, what the hell? Like, this team hasn't made the postseason since they lost to the ALCS in 21, and I'm like, I want this team to get back to where they were. Like, I want them
yeah,
to win a championship at some in the next 10, 15 years of my life. But it's
yeah,
just we're spoiled. You're right. No matter if it's the Pats, Bruins, Sox, Celtics, Red, whatever it is, it's just college.
yeah.
But
I
I
think it's
mean,
good to have a little lull. I think it gets people hungry. If the
mhm.
Red Sox had won four more World Series after 18, I don't know if
People would have
like
been like, "Who cares?"
yeah,
But now
it's
we're
not
we're hungry for one, and it's been
yeah.
7, 8 years or whatever it is. But
It's good, like it's good theater. Like I think baseball has done a good job with creating like good theater. That's what I fear with the NBA is it's the NBA is becoming way too balanced and
I'm finding it more rigged. I'm sorry. I love basketball too, but it's just like when it was the Warriors and Cavs every year, I'm like, this is just BS in my opinion.
yeah, I just don't know if having a different winner every year is good for the sport because like think
hmm
about the Jordan era. We wouldn't have a Jordan era in this format. He wouldn't have stayed
Probably no. He probably would have dipped. He would have said, "See you
or
later."
they wouldn't have been able to bring in all, him and Pippen wouldn't have been able to coexist or
hmm
um but we'll see. But with baseball, I love that the schedule, they changed the schedule, everyone plays each other. So, Otani's gonna come to Fenway soon, but
Yeah, a couple weeks. I know. I'm hyped
yeah.
for that. That's true.
Baseball's got good like, I was telling someone this last night, it is a sport, but it still has to be like you still have to have storylines like a show. And it
It
does.
is. Yeah,
You
every
know, you,
sport's like that.
you have to have it, right? You have to have like the Belichick Brady and the drama. Like
Yeah.
It's entertaining. Like the
I-
WNBA, I think is great right now. You got
I've
villains.
tuned in a little bit on the
Yeah.
Connecticut Sun. A
See?
little bit. I've tuned
Yeah.
in, not much, but a little bit.
No, but I mean, you got like those people want to beat up Caitlin Clark. That's
I
good.
know. Yeah, I know, but that's still like Jesus. Like she's one of the best players like we've seen in a long time.
Oh
My
yeah.
opinion. I don't know a lot about her, but she just seems like she can play with the men, I feel like.
But it's good to have like, a golden child and then people that,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good. Like that's good. That's how the NBA was in the 80s. You had, teams people hated.
The Pistons, the
Yeah.
Bulls probably back in the
Yeah.
day, Celtics,
Celtics,
Lakers.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was and I think the WNBA's done a good job creating. I mean, they love this. I mean,
Hmm.
they're
They live
selling
off
out
the Clark
arenas.
drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but for casual fans, that's great because I tell people there's really diehards is still a small person. Like I'm a diehard. There's not in the grand scheme of things, like at Fenway Park, if 30,000 people are there, 15,000 of them are not like me. It's probably like a
Trust me, I like
thousand.
tuning in too, and I like being there like I'm watching at home. Like, never
Yeah.
mind the outside BS. Like, I'm just the baseball guy too. That I
Yeah.
don't need to hear about your fantasy team or, oh, I lost this 150 on DraftKings. Well, sorry. I mean, I'm not there for that. I'm there to enjoy time with my family or whoever I'm with and focus on the
Yeah.
game. Like I like the people that actually do the book. In other
Oh
words,
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not that livid about it because I mean, if I was getting
No,
paid, it'd be
there's not
different. But
many but
it's a
it's
lot of
good.
older
Like,
folks that do that because it's like, oh, it's a retirement thing.
yeah. Yep.
But
And
no,
like our crowd in Worcester it's, you
Polar's
could,
nice. I've been there a couple of
yeah,
times. It's a nice park.
you could ask, 1,000 of our fans who are, they wouldn't know who any of our players were.
No,
They're
of
there
course
for, and
not.
that's good.
Yeah. But
So
no, Mike, I appreciate it. I know we're short on time, but I appreciate you doing this really
you
for
got
me.
it.
Thank you so much.
Yep.